NWA Empowerrr. I'll tell you everything that happened in the first all-women's pay-per-view produced by Mickie James, Medusa, Jazz. I'll tell you everything that happened, all the matches that went on, results, and also what's gonna happen tomorrow at NWA Power 73. Only right here on Raw Break. You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community. This is Juan. So how's every single one of you? Welcome to NWA Empowerrr. The review, the results, everything that went on in St. Louis, Missouri, the old house for like NWA. We're going to be dissecting everything that happened in this first all-women's pay-per-view. Thank you so very much for being with us one more time. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also give the video a like, so more people can be exposed to us, family. Thank you for all the love that you give us every single time in every single one of our videos. Before we jump into analyzing everything that happened in this all-women's pay-per-view, don't forget to check out like the Smackdown review. Jean Paul and myself go over everything that happened, in like Roman Reigns' family celebration. He was gonna be doing like all this small celebration about like this win with John Cena, and also Finn Balor was involved into this. So it seems like they're gonna have a match, Finn Balor in that challenging Roman Reigns for a Universal Championship match. So like don't forget to check that video out. Also Becky Lynch addressing the WWE Universe with Bianca Belair. Are they gonna have a match? Is the feud going on? Is Becky Lynch a heel? Check out the video and all those answers will be right there for you. So now let's talk about NWA Power. Like I said, a pretty interesting pay-per-view that what we mentioned, just because it's like the first time outside of the WWE that they had Evolution with the women. Is now Mickie James produces, like she was the head of like this production, like I said, alongside Medusa and also Jazz, and they decided to do something that for in their eyes also like it was something considered impossible in the pro wrestling world. The girls are successful in my book. They tried actually able to combine like the Forbidden Door. They were able to use talent from NWA, from AEW, Impact, AAA. So all of those collaborations ended up like putting a really great card. They had a lot of girls with name value like Deonna Purazzo. They had also Melina. They had also Layla Hirsch. Like a lot of girls that maybe sometimes on AEW might not have a prominent role, but here they have an opportunity to showcase themselves and also like to bring their eye, everybody's eyes to this product. So I give a thumbs up just because of the effort, the production, and NWA is also like jumping out of like what is like the normal, like the routine, and they're trying to do something different. So I always appreciate that. So Mickie James came out. She's the one that like saying, thanking the crowd, saying that this was like for a lot of people this was considered impossible, but it is happening right now. She was almost crying, and she said that this is for pro wrestling and to showcase all the women here. Everybody's that willing to entertain, and also like they were like all these girls were like kids at some point that they dreamed that they wanted to have something, and they were gonna offer the best show possible here. And like I said, I really enjoy this. And obviously the commentary team is like the one that we have on NWA Power alongside Velvet Sky. She was also like part of this. At moments like she was intense, at some points she was like routine, like she was like monotone, but despite that I feel that like she didn't do that bad. She's getting better in the microphone, so like her expressions are better, like she still knows a lot of the holds. That's good. So like she's able to provide like a better feedback, a better insight on when it comes to the matches. So let's go to like the first one that opened the show, and that's Diamante triple threat match against Chica Tormenta and Kylie Ray. Going from AEW, like also AAA and NWA, they had a triple threat match. Pretty interesting bout. I like the interactions between all three of them. In this one I thought Kylie Ray was gonna win just because she's like the girl from NWA, from the house. She's hosting this show, but here like Chica Tormenta did, I think, out of tune a little bit from like Diamante and Kylie Ray. The best interactions were between the two. Chica Tormenta try, but like I don't think she could get into the match like all fully. But in the end, we get to see like of course like the big move. They always do like that powerbomb suplex with the collaborations, although all the three members involved in the match. In the end, Diamante gets the win just thanks to the Canadian Destroyer, but instead of like she kept the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Diamante wins for AEW. That was cool. I think Diamante doesn't have a great role in what it is AEW Dynamite. Maybe on Dark, maybe on Elevation, now Rampage, she can have an opportunity there. So that was interesting. We'll see what happens with Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray to me is like the girl that was supposed to be the Impact Women's Champion or the Knockouts Champion. And before like what happened, like she ended up retiring from wrestling. Now she's back. We'll see. That feud with Deonna Purazzo is still pending for me. So it's the only time we'll tell what happens. But good performance by all these 3 women. Now let's switch gears to like the semifinals of the NWA Women's Tag Team Tournament, and now we're gonna go with like this is the first semifinal, and this is the Hex, and that's Allison Kay, or like formerly known as Sienna. She was a former also NWA champion. She lost the belt to Thunder Rosa, and then alongside Marty Bell. Like they really act like a tag team. The tag team moves are really great chemistry between the two. So good stuff on them. Now let's go with Hell and Heel, and that's Renee Michelle, also with Sahara 7. She was also like a really good wrestler. Really great bout here, and this was like whoever wins will advance to the final of this tournament. And like I said here, pretty good interactions between these 4 girls. I think you see, for example, you can see Allison Kay and also Sahara 7 kind of the same build, also the same height, so like the power right there was like more like the strength, like more stiff moves. But then you get to see Marty Bell and also like Renee Michelle was more like the athleticism. But in the end, great bout like I said, and also Allison Kay and Marty Bell end up like performing 2 consecutive like tag team moves, and then end up getting the win. You know, really good. Like, it was like a spine buster combined into like a clothesline. The first one, and the second one, it was just like another spine buster or like a power bomb. Really good stuff. Like Renee Michelle tried. Sahara 7 did a really good performance also. But in the end, you get to see Allison Kay and also Marty Bell, the Heck, end up like, you know, advancing to the finals of this tournament. Let's go to the next semi-final for this tag team tournament, and that's the Free Babes going against Red Velvet and also like Kylie King. And this was cool because like the Free Babes are just like 2nd generation wrestlers. So this is like, you know, like they try to like progress, like they try to follow on their father or like their parents' footsteps. So that was cool. And then we get to see like the Free Babes, we get to see Miranda Gordy, we get to see like Jimmy Wang Yang's daughter also. So like for the ones that remember Jimmy Wang Yang on the days of Smackdown WWE like 2007, so this was really cool. Those two will be having the match against Red Velvet also, and like Kylie King. So this was, like I said, a really good match. I mean, I think that like the interactions were good. We've seen Red Velvet a lot lately because she had the match against Britt Baker on Rampage. She had another match also on Dynamite, and now like there's a lot of exposure for Red Velvet. Maybe she missed the moonsault, yes, on AEW Dynamite, but at least, you know, like the girl keep getting more matches, keep getting more like experience under her belt. So that was cool. Also like Kylie King is like a really good, and actually they are a tag team on AEW, but more dark and elevation. And when it comes to like Wang's daughter, like she's 18, so like she's learning, she's still like learning how to perform her craft. But it was good, it looked like decent. I really enjoyed the match. Miranda Gordy going against Kylie King, really good interactions between the two. Those are the powerhouses. But in the end, you know, a big back body drop going face first like they did. Like she lifted like the big body drop, but instead she slams at front and onto like Jimmy Wang Yang's daughter, Kylie Wang. And 1, 2, 3, and we get to see Red Velvet and also Killian King. They actually get the win, so that was good. They were like the right winners here because they're the Free Babes. It's just like a, you know, they're put together, I think, on the spot. I don't think they have a lot of matches under their belts. It was just for this tournament, so that was cool that they advanced. Move on to like a backstage segment, and this is like Allison Kay and also Marty Bell. They're just promising that like today they're gonna be the new tag team champions. So they said also Marty Bell mentions that like she's from the Dominican Republic, and like this country's been having a lot of issues with NWA for so many years, but today the NWA is going to recognize their first Dominican world champion. That was really cool. You know, you get to see like there's importance, there's seriousness, there's interest in, you know, accomplishing this. So this was like the stuff that I like, that I enjoy. Why? Because it's just based on professional wrestling. There was no goofiness, it was serious. You know, they want to like present this as a real sport, which I like, and that's what like gets me into the, you know, this type of matches. Let's go with like Gail Kim, one of the legends, also like one of the producers of this event, and she just came out, she was thanking the crowd. She was saying that like this is just fruit of like all the efforts, 20 years of efforts, not only by her but Mickey James, Medusa, Jazz, everybody that is pushing for this belief, for like this women's like pay-per-views. Like we got to see something, like I said, on Evolution, but this has completely different, like they treat it completely different. So she was actually again thanking the crowd, just saying that like they're really excited, and it's like really humbling to see like the response of the crowd. That was also great. But then we got to see the appearance of Taryn Terrell, a great feud between the two for the Impact Championship. 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, or to 2014. That's when actually one of the greatest matches in the history of Impact Wrestling between the two of them. Hardcore. It was like a last woman standing match, if I'm not mistaken. She came out with Genesee and also with Paola Blaze. So like she was just saying that, why are you here? You always wanna like overshadow me. You just leave. Please just leave. I don't want to be here around you. I'm the superstar here. I'm the main event. So just leave. Gail Kim doesn't even respond. But when they're about to attack, we get to see Awesome Kong. She makes a return. Another girl that like really popular during the 2000s. Also like the glory days of Impact, when they actually had this great roster like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Awesome Kong, also Taylor Wilde, like Gail Kim. All of those people that like maybe rejects in the WWE or not well known WWE wise. But here they had an opportunity. Awesome Kong just cleans house with like all of the members, with Genesis, with like Blaze, and also like Taryn Terrell. And it happens to be that like Awesome Kong gets a microphone, she cuts a promo, and then just pretty much retires from pro wrestling. So thank you, Awesome Kong. Great run in what it is Impact. Maybe on Dynamite, that was the last time we saw her. She was gonna wrestle, but again, injuries, like really like personal stuff, like didn't allow her to like come to be that Awesome Kong that we met. But she thanks like Gail Kim for everything that she's done. They said that they always will have a bond, they always will have like this friendship, this like sisterhood between the two. So good stuff. Like we got to see like everything here, like matches, seriousness, good moments, and Awesome Kong closes this chapter of her life. Good stuff for her. So now let's go to like one of the marquee matches of this event. Deonna Purazzo defending the Knockouts Championship from Impact against Melina from NWA. This was actually a great match. You know, these two promise and they deliver. I really enjoyed this. Deonna Purazzo is like pretty much the wrestler that has been like everywhere. We get to see her every single time for the Impact specials. We saw her Triplemania, winning the Reina de Reinas Championship, and now here. So like she's having match after match after match. This girl, for me right now, I will say it one more time, the best wrestler in the world, based on the workload that she has, and also like the amount of matches and like the difference in matches, the variety of matches with so many different other opponents. Great match. The one thing here, like of course Deonna being like just using the figure 4 here just to like get the crowd like pumping for Ric Flair. NWA, he's gonna be probably showing up tomorrow. That was also cool. There was an injury that like Melina had in one of her legs. It seemed like they were gonna stop the match. I don't think that this was like a storyline. I just think that like they were trying to like, maybe they were not sure, but Melina seemed like in pain. She was also crying, like she was like, why is this happening right now? But she continued the match, so she kept selling. So good stuff on Melina. Kudos on her, just because like she went through all that pain. You know, we get to see now Deonna, of course, she applied the armbar. That's the signature move, that's the finisher move that like she loves, like she uses, and is the most effective one that she has. And then she transitioned into like the Minos de Milo. The Minos de Milo, that's also like both arms isolated, so more pain for Melina. And then she transitions to another one. It's more like a Boston leg crab, like a single one. And that's when Melina, like because of the injury, she had to tap out. And in the end, Deonna Purazzo one more time as the winner. We get to see this on Impact all the time. We saw it on Triplemania, and now the Empowerrr NWA. Deonna Purazzo one more time retains the Knockouts Championship. So the girl, again, to me, best wrestler in the world, just because it's everywhere. That reminds us of like the territory days, just when like you will go from place to place. Deonna is doing that and showing how capable of like carrying a company, being a champion, behave as a champion, also being a great heel is. Kudos on Deonna, just because like the workload that she's done. Let's go to the final to crown the new tag team champions for NWA, Women's Tag Team Champion. The Hex going against Red Velvet and Killian King. Really good match, also like long, probably 15 minutes. Really great interactions between the two groups, though the two tag teams. Red Velvet also like really good speed, athleticism, moving really fast, trying to like use that like speed that she has to go along, because see like Marty Bell, like she's actually not as like short as Red Velvet, but also like the speed factor played a lot here. And Killian King going against Allison Kay. To see here like the Black Widow, that's kind of like AJ Lee. That's one of the moves that she created and she made popular. So we have to see a lot of combinations here. Allison Kay did also like a spine buster. Really good back and forth. The sequences there was a lot of fluency. I like that. They were like really nice. They were spaced out. It was very enjoyable to see this. But in the end, the AK-47, that's the finisher that they have combined between Marty Bell and also like Allison Kay, and they end up like beating Red Velvet, Killian King, and they're like the brand new and the inaugural from this time, this modern era, like the women's tag team champions. This was absolutely great. Instead of like, you know, right there we got to see Medusa. She introduced the titles to both of these ladies, so like great moment. You know, all the women's are just enjoying, and there was a lot of sportsmanship also. Like you see also like Red Velvet and King like actually celebrating with them. They hug. a lot of good stuff. You see, like, everybody was just trying to put a great show for people to entertain and to break barriers and to make historic moments, and that's what they did here for NWA. So we have brand new tag team champions on, and the girls on Killian on the Heck, pretty much like Allysin Kay and also like Marty Bell. So this is really good because, like every single company now seems to have tag team belts. The only one that doesn't have any is AEW Dynamite, but they're gonna just follow those footsteps and they're gonna introduce us pretty soon, I think, those tag team belts, because WWE has them, NXT has them, Impact has them. So now it is the time for like AEW not to follow behind, and then they're gonna end up doing it. But like, this was a really good match and I enjoyed that. Now let's go really quick to what is gonna be like one of the main events, and this is legit Layla Hirsch challenging Camille for the NWA Championship. We got to see this big interaction in AEW Dynamite, so this turned out to be like the match. And Billy Corgan was right there also, the leader of the Smashing Pumpkins and the president of the owner of the NWA. He introduced the NWA Women's Championship from 1920. Like, we haven't seen that in like forever, so that was a cool moment, and that actually inspired both girls to deliver even like a better performance. Here David against Goliath, you see Hirsch trying to go for the legs, trying to isolate the movement, trying to use the speed, also trying to go underneath, just because that's how like the strategy that she has to follow. That was like the only weapons that she had against Camille. We got to see also the members of Strictly Business. We got to see right there Chris Masters. We got to see also Nick Aldis. They are the members of this group that like has also Camille. Like, they're the members of Camille's group, so like they make sure that like she's doing good. Right here we got to see the sleeper hold. She was trying to isolate again, cut the movement, because the power and strength, Camille has the advantage. So Hirsch has to like try to like go for those things. Here I like that, like the armbar also, very good stuff. But in the end, Camille just like use the power, use the strength to isolate Hirsch. Hirsch tried as fast as he could, but one spear, 1, 2, 3, and Camille retains. She is still the NWA Women's Champion, and rightfully so, because she beat Serenity. Like, she has a lot of potential also, and she's gonna have more opponents to defeat. They're not gonna take the title anytime soon from her, so I really like that. And then you get to see the picture with the members of Strictly Business, because Nick Aldis is gonna be defending his championship tomorrow in NWA 73 Power against Trevor Murdoch. So it's gonna be interesting what factor these guys can play in that match, because of course they're heels, so they're gonna use the dirty tactics to make sure that like Nick Aldis walks out as champion also. Go to the main event, the Women's Invitational. This was actually really nice. It was pretty much Battle Royal, but actually instead of like being eliminated over the top rope, we got to see this just more like a pinfall or submission. We had like 10 girls. Like, we're gonna go to the rules. The 10 girls, every 2 minutes one of the girls will come out also, and the elimination happens when there's pinfall or submission. And also like whoever like is the last woman standing here is gonna earn a NWA championship opportunity against Camille tomorrow at NWA Power. So we got to see like the beginning. It was like number 1 was Chelsea Green, the hot mess. She was actually the one of the first ones that confirmed her participation here in this pay-per-view. Got to see Kiera Hogan from Impact and now AEW. So like another girl, Elizabeth. This one I kind of jobbing a little bit, but hey, he's just trying to get used to like AEW ways and get accustomed, acclimated to that AEW audience. So we got to see also Bianca Carelli. That is actually the daughter of Santino Marella. So they started out the match. It was like really good. I really enjoyed this. We got to see also another women in the match. Like the eliminations were kind of quick, but it was like already like the main event. So that's why I think they did it that way. Other members in the Battle Royal was Lady Frost. We got to see also Thunder Kitty and Tootie Lynn. Tootie Lynn was actually from Missouri. So that was like the big pop. She was actually the last girl that came out. Like, the whole crowd was eating her alive. Like, the whole crowd was just loving it. They were actually, that was the biggest pops of the night, just because of being in her hometown. They really enjoyed this. But the last 4 was Lamovich, let's see, Kiera Hogan, Chelsea Green, and like I said, like Lynn. And they had really great interactions. Lamovich like kind of like the powerhouse, Kiera Hogan in between, super kicks, like mobility, a lot of speed, and Chelsea Green kind of like being the general here, like dictating, just coasting, just waiting for the opportunity to strike. And then Lynn, just being like the crowd, like the big baby face, trying to get that win, trying to get that opportunity for that championship. And in the end, we get to see Chelsea Green just delivering. That was the last 2. It was Lynn and Chelsea, and then an Unprettier, that great move that Christian like started, like created, or the kill switch, like Chelsea calls it the Unprettier. 1, 2, 3, and Chelsea Green wins the first Invitational Women's Battle Royal. So that was really cool. Like, all the girls came out. You see the hug between Lynn and Chelsea. they were actually very happy. And all the main thing is like Chelsea becomes like, it is also a name. It's not maybe one of like the most popular names, but it's pretty recognized in the world of professional wrestling. And also she has holds the cup. All the girls came out, as you guys can see. Then they hug, like you get to see everybody. It was just like a lot of camaraderie, friendship. They just want to deliver for the crowd. We got to see Purazzo, everybody came out. Medusa, like Jazz, Mickie James, all of them. And in the end, you know, Chelsea Green just holds the cup. And tomorrow she's going to be challenging Camille for that NWA championship. So family, something that is very different we got to witness here, very historical moment. Outside of Evolution, another company was able to put all females, all women's pay-per-view. So that was pretty interesting. I feel that like it gets a thumbs up one more time. Why? Just because like everybody, like the Forbidden Door was used completely at its best. Just because everybody benefits from this. NWA got exposure, AEW got exposure, Impact got a lot of exposure with Deonna Purazzo, and now like AAA also. And also these girls, and besides also the exposure, like we're gonna get more opportunities. Other audiences are gonna see them, and now we know more names, like for example like Lady Frost, like Tootie Lynn, we get to see Slamovich, names that maybe we're not so familiar with, because maybe like the independent scene, they don't have TV deals, so it's really hard to get behind these things. But like now NWA, especially Mickie James, with this new purpose that she has, is trying to get all these women to give them an opportunity. So I give a thumbs up just because of that. Thank you so very much, family. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and the one thing that you can do for me is just subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, don't forget to give the video a like so more people can be exposed to the original Raw break. And next time I see you guys will be for Monday Night Raw. We'll see what happens with Bobby Lashley and also Goldberg. You know, all another week in the professional wrestling world. So thank you so very much, and I say bye to you by saying, Ada.